Okay, Shalom Akim, Kahalaim La Yahawashi Yahawashi Bashim Hakadash, and double on Instagrams and apostles. Thoughty Yahshua for the strength in order to make this video. And Yaratazar, they also edified as well. It's the brother Ratazar Racha Halawaya, meaning willing spirit praise Yahweh. And when we say Kahalaim La, that means all praises to you. Yahweh is the name of the Most High God, well, of whom the world ignorantly calls him God. But his name is Yahweh, which means he is, he exists, or he is to be. And when we say Bahashim, it means in the name. And Yahawashi means he the deliverer, or he delivers. And that's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. So, that's just a brief introduction there. But the point is that, as I named the video, Yahawashi made the ultimate sacrifice. That's the point of this video, man. Because we know him being our mediator, in order to intervene for us, in order to get salvation, which really the opportunity is through him, Yahawashi, in order to get salvation into his kingdom and to be his rulers as well, in his kingdom, under his command, of course. The thing is that Yahawashi being our mediator, it means that we also have to examine the type of lifestyle that he's lived, and also what he sacrificed, which is the focus on this video, what is sacrificed in order to really allow us to have this opportunity, to have the forgiveness or have mercy from Yahweh, the Father Almighty, Allah Shadir, which means really demon-like power or power almighty. So I wanted to get a precept, so Galatians 3. Because Yahawashi did make the ultimate sacrifice, man, when he went on the cross and then he died and had to suffer mockery and insults, perceiving the thoughts of the Pharisees and Sadducees as well, trying to trip him out. But yeah, he endured through all of that, and now he's awaiting his return, man, which is obviously according to the timing of Yahweh. So let's see. I said that I was gonna get Galatians 3, and I'm gonna read Matthew 27 as well, which is a key one, shortly after that. Because without his sacrifice, we wouldn't have mercy from Yahweh, ultimately, man. We would not have mercy. Without Yahawashi's sacrifice, we will not have the forgiveness of sins, brother. That's why, as I always like to say, man, we need the mercy of Yahawashi. Paid the bill, we're just paying the tab, man. The little part of it, and Yaratazar, that we do endure to the end and defend the gospel to the end, even unto death, which is our intention, Yaharatazar, which is why I always say Yaharatazar, which means Yahweh willing, because man's goings are of the Lord, as it says in Proverbs 20. So we know that we have to pray that we're worthy, and we are those men of whom will gain the mercy and the salvation of Yahawashi Yahawashi. Let me get this one quickly. So this is Galatians 3 and verse 13. Hamashiach Yahawashi hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us, for it is written, cursed is every one that hangeth on a tree, which is just referring to Yahawashi, of whom died on the cross. The tree is reference to the cross. And literally you can think about it, because wood is based upon trees, so that was used to create the cross anyways. But that curse is really seen as where it says Hamashiach Yahawashi hath redeemed us from the curse of the law, is really about the, what's it called, like the denouncement or the punishment from the law, man. That's the thing. So Yahawashi, through him, that's how we're able to get mercy. Hence why I mentioned that point in the beginning. Being made a curse for us, but it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree. So that was his sacrifice that he made, man. And even doing that alone, not many people understand. Only the disciples really understood. Even then, they understood a portion. But right now, as the prophecies are coming out as well, and when Yahawashi comes back, everything will now come in full circle, man. And more understanding will then be revealed on how much Yahawashi truly sacrificed as well. Because, of course, we're reading the scriptures, but there will also be certain things of which may have not even been mentioned within the scriptures that have happened too. So all that, we're all going to hear about it, man, when Yahawashi, Yaris are in those chariots and he tells us of what he had to go through, man. Or even unheard things that he had to go through. So yeah, that was his sacrifice right there, mentioned in Galatians 3 and 13. And it says it in verse 14 that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yahawashi HaMashiach, and we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. So of course, those Gentiles there are reference to really Israelites scattered, man. Wait, hold on, actually. It says, come on the yeah, exactly. It says, because only Israel is supposed to receive the blessing. So Galatians 3 and 14, that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yahawashi Mashiach. That's talking about scattered Israelites, of whom are accustomed to or have taken up the customs and traditions of the heathen as well, so that they can come and of course receive the Harachah Kodash as well. So it says through Yahawashi HaMashiach, through Yahawashi, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith, which is of course, that Spirit was also promised to the apostles as well for them to preach with Harachah Kodash. So let me get Acts 1 and 8. Actually, hold on, it's probably earlier than that. Alright, so we'll see how long this one goes for, because I might need to do a two-part type of video thing. So Acts 1 and verse 8. Let's see if I can get that. So this is Acts chapter 1 and verse 8. But ye shall receive power after that of the Holy Spirit is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. Which of course, that's also reference to America as well, the uttermost parts of the earth. So that's where the gospel is really more prominent at right now. But the point is in the beginning of the verse, but ye shall receive power after that of the Holy Spirit is upon you, is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me, both in Jerusalem and in Judea and in Samaria and unto the uttermost parts of the earth. So it's receiving that Spirit, man. As I mentioned in Galatians 3 and 14, the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles against scattered Israelites through Yahawashi HaMashiach, that we might receive the promise of the Spirit through faith. And we know that it's impossible to please Yahweh Ba'ashem Yasha without faith, man. It's impossible to please the Most High Yahweh without faith. And of course, as I said, we need Yahweh as the mediator and to receive mercy, which that faith can bring to and will bring. So, just gonna see if there was, if I need to get something here. Just a quick point as well on the scattering, because that was part of the curses as well. Israel going into different places for captivity too. So that's part of how they scattered. Well, pretty much the main reason how they scattered. But yeah, let's get Deuteronomy 4. So this is Deuteronomy 4 and verse 27. And the Lord Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations. So these are the heathen nations. And ye shall be left few in number among the heathens. Yeah. Whither the Lord Yahweh shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods and work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear nor eat nor smell. So of course that's talking about the different idols that Jacob's worshipping today. Christianity, Islam, the Edomite, Jesus Christ. So that is all just men's hands, well, the work of men's hands and wood and stone. So the point is really that in verse 27 where it says, and the Lord Yahweh shall scatter you among the nations. So where it says in Galatians 3 and 14 that the blessing of Abraham might come on the Gentiles through Yahawashi HaMashiach, those Gentiles are reference to scattered Israelites. That's the thing. But anyways, going back to the topic though, because I know I was going on a little tangent there. It's basically on Yahawashi's sacrifice. So Yahawashi really sacrificed themselves for Israel, but more specifically the elect of whom are pertain unto salvation. So Galatians 3 and verse 14 that was. Let me get Matthew 10 as well. Trying to stay on topic here. So this is Matthew chapter 10. I read from about verse 24 to 26, and then I'll read another portion of it too. So this is Matthew chapter 10, verse 24. The disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord. It is enough for the disciple that he be as his master, and the servant as his Lord. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, they did, the Pharisees, Sadducees, they called Yahawashi, to be a demon. That's when Yahawashi then had the response, how can Satan cast out Satan? Something along those lines. How much more shall they call them of his household? So that when it says how much more shall they call them of his household, that's all about the servants, us, of Yahawashi, of Yahawashi. So fear them not, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. So of course, them afflicting the prophets, man, all that's going to be exposed, all that information, all that evil is going to be exposed. So that's what verse 26 is talking about. So the same way he was also accused of being Beelzebub, which is obviously the name of a demon, the same way we're also going to be accused in these times as well. So in the latter days that we're in right now, let me get to the point here as well. So that's part of his sacrifice as well, being called all sorts of names and insults too, which we're going to get on in Matthew 27. So this is Matthew chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So of course he came to not flipping have peace in him, but to set variation, which means to separate individuals, because those of the spirit, those who are worshipping Yahawashi in truth and in spirit, of course, they will be separated from those of whom are of the world, of whom, of course, serve worldly things, man, like idols and things that don't pertain to truth and spirit. So Matthew 10 and verse 35, for I am come to set a man at variance, separation again, against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. So it's, as it said there, man, a man's foes, which means enemies, shall be they of his own household. That's why, that betrayal will then come. You could be living at your place, and then eventually they'll say, they'll tell the police your location, and then that's it from there. Or it could be the Most High as well, where if you're not destined to, of course, suffer affliction in prison, you could be suffering afflictions as you are a pilgrim upon the earth as well, which is also another test of faith too. So verse 37, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Now, of course, what that's talking about is the fact that you sacrifice your service towards Yahawashi just because of family members. That's the thing. So in that time, faith will be tested, because he says, he that loveth his father or mother more than me. So of course, you're supposed to show love upon Yahawashi more than anything else of the world, because really, especially in the elect sake specifically, the 144,000, the real family, the real spiritual families that pertain to the heavens, the first fruits, not the ones of whom are of the flesh right now. Because if they were the real family, then of course in the spirit you guys will be in sync, not as much as you are in sync with the brotherhood. And really, I'm talking about the brotherhood here. And it says here in verse 38, let me continue on. It says in verse 37, more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Because those people who have more love towards their family members, that will be used as a hindrance if they have too much of it, of course, because there's a balance here. doesn't mean that you gotta hate them. There's a balance here. To the point where you gotta have that what's that word? You gotta have those boundaries, man. That's the thing. When the time to come to strive for the truth, well, we are striving for the truth unto death. But when that death is close by, the thing is we can't be wavering just because of family members. That's the thing. So it says, and he that taketh not his cross and followeth me after me is not worthy of me. So of course suffering is required. Suffering is required in this truth. In all sorts of ways. It could be mentally, spiritually, which pretty much most brothers go through. Physically, ailments. Could be financially as well, or even just in other ways, man, multiple ways that the Most High can send afflictions upon you. So that's part of carrying your cross. It says here, verse 39, he that findeth his life shall lose it. He that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. And of course, that test where it says, he that loseth his life for Yahawashi's sake shall find it. So of course, us dying for the truth is actually a privilege, man. It's a privilege for us to die for this truth. Eventually, when the time comes where, of course, those of us who we will have to reject Esau's system in that time anyway. So we're going to be seen as rebels in that time. And of course, the cost of it is death as well when that moment of truth does come. But yeah, that's really the point right there, man. So going on to the topic of Yahawashi as the ultimate sacrifice, that's the case that we got here. He's the leading example of that. Us having to sacrifice the things of this world, and of course that typical family relationships, it grows cold. As the scriptures say, the love of many shall wax cold as well. Those are part of the sacrifices, man, that we gotta make. As it says, the servant is not greater than the master. If the master has gone through a certain thing, you will also go through certain sufferings as well. So that's Matthew 10. Now let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna probably read Matthew 27. Then I need to do a part 2 on this topic as well. From verse 1 to about verse 56. Maybe, let's see. But yeah, man, that's the point, because in that time there will be betrayals, of which happen, man. So you gotta prepare your mind and anticipate. These are times where demons can just hop on a family member in order to rat you out, and you could see yourself with your head on a guillotine, man, or in prison for a while before you then get the death sentence, which is of course in honor of Yahawashi, man. The same way Yahawashi died as well, and the apostles as well, certain of them which died gruesome deaths, man. So it was all for the will of Yahweh. It was all for the honor and respect towards Yahawashi, man. Make your bodies a living sacrifice. That could be seen as a metaphorical sense with suffering, and it can be seen as a literal sense when it's time to actually die for the truth. Because it's one thing, of course, saying it, as I say before, it's one thing saying it, but it's also another thing also living it out as well. So you got to prepare our minds for that. That's when really you test, you really test the potency of the gold, man. As it talks about, he's going to refine the 1/3 as gold, as it says in Zechariah 13 and verse 9, as well as in Ecclesiasticus 2 as well, about the refinement as gold. Right, so I said I was going to read chapter 27. I'll probably read a portion of it and then continue on in the next video out as well. Because, we're yet in this day, something about... Let me just read, man. Let me just read. The point is that we're in this captivity. We're still in our captivity right now. So we've got certain responsibilities. So Matthew 27, which is really on about Yahawashi's death, man. The moments before, up to the actual point of his death. So this is Matthew 27, verse 1. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahawashi to put him to death. So of course they all gathered in order to really be agreed upon the death of Yahawashi. So it says, and when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor. Then Judas, which had betrayed him. See, there'll be betrayals, man. Even those of whom are seen in the truth, you never know what kind of spirit may be placed upon it. That's why we always have to pray, Yahawashi, that we remain in a humble spirit, and of course that we endure to the end as well, so that we're not confounded and seen as those who betray, as Judas who betrayed Yahawashi in this truth. So it said, then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw that he was condemned, repented himself. So of course the guilt was upon him, man, and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders. Verse 4, so Matthew 27:4, saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood, that innocent blood representing Yahawashi. Remember, he's the lamb as well. So of course, rightfully so, that is described as that innocent blood. And they say, what is that to us? See thou to that. So they were saying, what is 30 pieces of silver, man? They were basically saying, get out of it. What kind of nonsense is this? So that's basically from the priests and the elders, of whom Judas tried to return the 30 pieces of silver to, or to give them. Because it was basically blood money, considering the fact that Yahawashi is now, on the verge of death. Now, it says here, for this moment in time, by the way, in this Matthew 27 verse 4. So yeah, this is verse 5. It says, and he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed and went and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. As I said before, it was blood money. Innocent blood has been shed with that money, man. That's why the priests and the elders, they didn't want to accept it. Verse 7, and they took counsel and brought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. Hold on. I think I skipped something. Yeah, I skipped something. So yeah, I was in verse 4. Let me read verse 5. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple. So Judas dropped them, nevertheless, and departed and went and hanged himself. Now, of course, it says here that he hanged himself here. But also in Acts 1:18, it also mentions about him falling, and all the internal organs then gushed out of his body, man. Which there's theories, if you research online on how Judas actually died, because they were saying one of them, of which is more probable, but of course we'll confirm all of this Yahawashi when we're with Yahawashi. Thing is they're saying that because the fact that when he hanged himself, as I mentioned here, from the hanging, the bacteria would have been eating up his organs and weakening his flesh, and then from the fact that he was hanging, he would have then slipped and then fell upon the field of which he bought, man. So that's just a theory that's online, of course. So brothers can do their research and see what else is out there. But I said the true confirmation will come in when we're with Yahawashi ultimately. So that's just a little thing there. Acts 1:18 and Matthew 27 and verse 5. So of course those are linked, because people are going to try and use that as some kind of a flipping contradiction. But really it's just about having that understanding of what actually could have happened. Because they're saying, you got that account of Acts, written by Luke, of whom had one perspective, and of course you had the one written by Matthew, of which has had one perspective as well, which is obviously, it seems as though Matthew actually had the earlier perspective to Luke as well. But kind of like a crime scene where it's like a person actually witnesses a death to a person who gets reports on the death or something. But anyways, before I start going on a tangent, Salak for that, let me continue on. So this is Matthew 27 and verse 6. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood. So again, that's blood money that's being talked about here. Verse 7, and they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field to bury strangers in. Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day. So yeah, as I said, Acts 1 and 18 and Matthew 27 and verse 6 to 8, 6 to 7, those are really related to how Judas died. But, as I said, that will reveal itself in its time, man. So, it says in verse 8, wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day, because that's where, Judas died. It says, verse 9, then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah, or Jeremy the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field as the Lord appointed me. Verse 11, and Yahawashi stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, art thou the king of the Jews? And Yahawashi said unto him, thou sayest. And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then saith Pilate unto him, hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? So Pilate was saying, do you not hear the accusations, the number of accusations that they're claiming to have against you? That's what they'll have. And yeah, that's part of suffering wrongfully. So in fact, let me just get that right there. Yeah, I think I'm going to close out as well, because I said I need to do a part 2 based on the same topic as well. But yeah, let me get probably need to bring that precept as well in 2 Peter 2. 2 Peter 2. All right. Hold on. Should be 2 Peter 2. Hold on. Just check again quickly. Oh, it's actually 1 Peter 2. 1 Peter 2 and verse 19. 1 Peter 2 and verse 19. So this is 1 Peter 2 and verse 19. For this is thankworthy if a man for conscience towards the Most High endure grief, suffering wrongfully. For what glory is it, if when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? But if when ye do well and suffer it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable unto the Most High. So of course the point is where it says, for what glory is it if when ye be buffeted for your faults? Because obviously when you're accused of something that you didn't do, and then you just suffer patiently, there's no glory in it. There's nothing to profit from it. That's what it's basically saying right there. When you read the NLT, it's more understandable, because this is the KJV, King James Bible version. It says, but if when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently. So when you actually, you take up the false accusation, you don't really retaliate, you just take it in. This is acceptable with the Most High. So of course, you actually seen up there, man, in the heavens, by Yahawashi, this is acceptable. So that's part of your reasonable service, man. Suffering wrongfully, as it says in verse 19. Enduring grief and suffering wrongfully. Which really goes into false accusations, as Yahawashi had to go through as well. Alright, so what verse was that on? And it says here, Matthew 27 and 12, and when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then saith Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? So of course, yeah, and he said, verse 14, and he answered him to never a word, in so much that the governor marveled greatly. So of course, Yahawashi didn't answer the flipping false accusers. He didn't even answer Pontius Pilate, man, when he asked him, do you realize the accusations that they're claiming against you? Yahawashi just kept silent. It's obviously him implementing the scriptures as well, man. Being slow to speak as well, slow to anger. That's what he was showing right there. And that he was also showing the trait of suffering wrongfully, as you just brought out in 1 Peter 2 and about verse 19 to 20. So that's the type of example that we need to see from Yahawashi being the ultimate sacrifice. But I said I was going to do a part 2, Yahawashi, so Yahawashi Mishal Brakatha, and Yahawashi, I'm going to need to record it later on. This part 2. So Shalom, Kahala Imla, Yahawashi Yashab, Bashim Hakadash, double honest to the great Muslim apostles, and Thawdi Yashab for the strength, to make this video as well. So again, Yahawashi, I need to do the part 2. So Shalom.